Texas House Consultant, and I'm coming to you tonight with another fabulous Friday recipe. So let's get started with tonight's recipe. We are going to use our electric double griddle to make this wonderful meal. And because of the wide surface of the double griddle, we're going to be able to prepare both items on the surface of just one cooking surface. So let's start first of all by saying that tonight's recipe is going to be grilled salmon. Now, prior to tonight's start of the recipe, I actually have sauteed and marinated these salmon pieces. And of course, we know how important it is to add salmon to our diets. So the first thing that I'm going to do is take the marinated salmon out. My surface of my electric double griddle has actually had an opportunity to heat. And I'm going to take my tongs, give me just a second guys as I grab my tongs, and we're going to put these pieces on the griddle. When you place your salmon on the griddle, you're going to want to use the skin side down. Can you hear that sizzling? And if you'd like this recipe for my marinade, I'll be happy to share that with you as well. So basically, we have our wonderful marinated salmon on our griddle. And now what we're going to do is make, I'm so excited to share this with you. We are going to make fried rice. Now, the first thing I'm going to tell you, though, about my fried rice is that I usually use brown rice, which is a healthier rice than just white rice. So that's what we'll be using to make our fried rice. The first thing that we do is we're going to need to put a little butter on, just a little butter. So I'm going to put a little butter on our surface. And what we're going to do with that is scramble the egg. Now give me just a second because I do have to break my egg and get it ready to be scrambled. Very easy. Just place my egg in and use my whisk. As part of the fried rice, we have to cook the egg first. And then we're going to actually remove the egg and put it in one of our Fantasia Fresh containers just to keep it until it's time. All right, here we go. So we are just simply going to scramble the egg. Very easy. And notice how much surface I still have left to be used, because I'm only using a small portion of the griddle with the salmon. So that's why using your electric double griddle can be so convenient. Now I have 2 pieces of salmon on because I'm cooking for just Don and I, but if I had a couple more people with me, I could easily get 4 pieces of salmon on. Okay, we're just going to scramble the egg, make sure it's nice and scrambled. And because we're going to be putting this inside our fried rice, notice how I'm mincing it because you just want to make sure your scrambled egg is minced. And I am using one of our amazing utensils to get my egg finished. That's looking really good. It's really minced nice and fine. Okay, and now I can actually remove my egg. So give me a second. We're going to take this off and put it in one of our Fantasia Fresh 1-cup containers. until we need it again. Okay? How simple was that? Pretty easy. Absolutely. And you'll notice that my salmon is just cooking away. It's not cooking too fast, but it's cooking while I prepare the rest of the meal. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to put some more butter in. And this is where we put the rest of the ingredients for our fried rice. We're going to put chopped onion. Okay, make sure all of this gets in here nice and good. And we're also going to put carrots, and these are freshly cubed carrots. And our frozen peas. And it definitely wouldn't be as good as it could be if we didn't have fresh minced garlic. Garlic makes everything taste great. So we've got our garlic. And now we're just going to let this cook up just a little bit. Just a little bit. And I'm not cooking anything that I have on my surface too quickly because we don't want to overheat any of our contents. You want to give this time though so it can somewhat tenderize. So we just want to saute it long enough for us to put the rest of the items in with it. And of course, I don't know about you, but I love fried rice. And it's nice to be able to make it at home so that you know exactly how much oil you're putting in, how much butter you're putting in. And one of the things I do want to mention is that you also want to make sure that you put a little salt and pepper on it. So I haven't put any salt and pepper on it yet, but I'm about to do that. I'm going to make sure I get this off with my tongs. We don't want to waste any of it. All right, guys, so let me put a little salt and pepper. And again, this is salt and pepper to taste. And I always use Himalayan salt. You guys already know that about me. Pepper, and I like fresh ground pepper. Yes, I do. All right. There we go. Looking good. Okay, it's looking as if my onions are beginning to become translucent, and that's giving me the signal that my vegetables are now ready to be moved on to phase 2. And phase 2 is where we're going to bring our rice on. Okay? So, I'm going to place my rice. And remember, your rice needs to be cold, pre-cooked, and cold. You can't make fried rice if you're using warm rice. So we've got this going. Okay, now we're going to fold into our rice green onions. We're also going to be able to use a little soy sauce. And we're going to use oyster sauce. That oyster sauce is a little thick, as you know, but there it goes. Now, the object of the game is to be able to mince all of this together. So I'm going to fold these vegetables in. There we go. And if you chose to, you could use a little more soy sauce if you want. I usually like to add more soy sauce, that's a tongue twister, as I'm eating the meal. So we're just going to make sure we fold all of this, and you want to make sure your rice has enough time to sit so that it can be fried rice. Okay, there we go. We're mixing it up really good. We've got plenty of time for it to sit here because our salmon need to be turned over. So mixing it really nicely. I don't know about you guys looking at this, but I am loving how this is turning out. It's looking really good. Okay, now one of the things that I'm about to do is I am going to turn my salmon over. And when I turn my salmon over, this double griddle comes with a lid. I'm actually going to let my lid sit for just a couple of minutes. Okay, let's see. And now we're going to put the egg in. And again, we're going to fold the egg in. Want to make sure the egg is evenly distributed all throughout the fried rice. So I'm moving it around. And of course, as I'm doing this, you can see that my rice is frying, still cooking. The vegetables are continually cooking as I move everything around. Okay. That is looking absolutely wonderful, guys. Now, what I'm about to do next, while I let my rice continue to fry, is the fact that we're going to turn over my salmon. I'm making sure I take a little ball of this off. And let's turn over the salmon. Make sure it's all good to go. The salmon is about done, as you can see from how I turned that one piece. Let's see, I want to make sure I don't slide it too much, so I'm going to use this. Flip it over. There we go. Okay. I'm going to place my lid on and let it sit for just a couple of minutes. Now, what I love about using the lid on our double griddle is that when you put that lid on, it draws in all the moisture. And so that's going to allow both my rice to become more tenderized, and of course everything will continue to marinate with all the sauces that I've added in it. And then I'm also allowing my salmon to finish its cooking process without overcooking the salmon. So give us a minute, I'll be back, and then we will be able to plate everything that I've made. Okay guys, we're ready to check out the finished product. Okay. All right. Yes, everything is looking so good. And guys, I just got to share something with you. How many of you had the eagle eyes to notice that I had a glass of red wine sitting on my table? Well, I just want to share with you, it is recommended with salmon dishes that you have a white wine. However, since I'm a red wine drinker, I thought I would pair my salmon tonight with a beautiful Pinot Noir. But just to let you know, the perfect choice by the connoisseurs is white wine. But who cares? Now let's talk about the finished meal. Now you can see that my fried rice is ready to come off the double griddle. And the last thing that you do is you add a little either sesame oil, or I'm going to use grapeseed oil, which is also a very healthy, tasteless oil. So give me just a couple of minutes as I take all of this off the griddle, because you're going to see how I just spoon that in. And then when we serve this, we can either add a little bit more, if you choose to, soy sauce, or you can leave it just as it is. Okay? So let me just put just a little bit of our grapeseed oil. And if you don't have our grapeseed oil, it's something you want to add to your pantry. Grapeseed oil has a very high burn factor, and it's a very healthy oil, particularly for anyone who has any heart conditions. So there we go. Now I'm just going to spoon that in, and our fried rice is ready to be eaten. Now you want to make sure that you don't let this sit around for a long time. It's made so that you can actually serve it right away. Okay? My salmon is also ready. And of course it looks a little darker simply because of the marinade that I had on it. So let me just whip this around a little bit, and I'm going to show you how the salmon looks. Because it was marinated, you can see once again that it's a little darker, and again that is the flavoring of the marinade that has gone through the salmon. Woohoo! We're gonna love tonight's dinner. Now I'm gonna scoop up some of my fried rice, and now we have the perfect meal. You may want to add a tossed salad. Yes or no, it depends on you. Doesn't that look great? But either way, we've got our salmon, our fried rice, and our favorite wine. Now, the last thing I need to remind all of you about is that the items that I use tonight are in my Facebook shop. But one of the items that I use tonight, you need to snag it right away, because this is the last day to get our double griddle, and it's the electric double griddle for just $249. Our special ends today, March 25th of 2022. Now this electric double griddle normally retails for $399.95, but today, without any other purchase, is your last time to get it for the amazing price, and that's by midnight tonight in my Facebook shop. And enjoy any of the other items I've used to prepare tonight's meal, also from my Facebook shop. Well, I can't wait to get at my dinner table. Don and I are going to have some fun eating this meal tonight. So I will see you back here next Friday for another fabulous Friday. Bye, everybody. See you real soon.
Sign me up for the Princess House Express. Write my name on the road home to success. I'm in chains since I joined Princess House. I want to be a part of this great team. Didn't David whip Goliath? Did it take him to his knees? Didn't Daniel beat the lions without a hardly a wheeze? You know, Jonah sure